Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build here on the channel. As you can tell, this one has been after the patch update, so I was starting to play around with the terrain tools and sort of figure them out. And sort of just playing with them and trying to decide what I do. For this particular build, I do decide to just completely flatten the whole lot and actually, get rid of these little mounds that I was building, because originally what I was going to try to do was make it sort of like this area on the right there where it has like the plants and stuff, but I did ultimately decided to flatten it out and put like these two little things here to make it look like they're almost like planters or whatever. And I actually do eventually, because I'm slowly trying to remake some of the lots and stuff in my main save to where it's all my builds, just to sort of add more of a little personal touch basically to the game and like my game and stuff. So I'm in the process of slowly doing that. Some of the builds I had were like EA already, and some of them were actually ones that people made and things like that, and they were great builds. It's just I've decided that I've wanted it to sort of reflect all of my builds, so slowly all the houses and things like that will be slowly changing into my builds. Of course, when it comes to the houses, especially for the ones who I'm recording, I have to make it story-wise to why they got a new house. So some of the houses won't be changing as fast as the community lots, because it's easier to make realistic reasons to why the community lots change. Change of ownership, place caught on fire, earthquake, person decided that, you know, it needed revamped, so they're redoing it, remodeling. You know, there's quite a few reasons why. And I mean, some of those same reasons could apply to real houses, but it happens more often to community lots than real houses, because community lots, the people would have most likely have more money to actually do that to their place of establishment, to all of a sudden remake it or rechange it, or rechange it? What? Just change it or anything like that. So, this whole entire strip, this is like in Oasis Springs, it's like all community lots. I'm actually remaking all of them, of course. I've decided, like, and I started remaking this one. I already went and ended up remaking the one next to it, so now I'm going to start making the other two that's on this. And I decided a theme that they're going to have is these little planters or these little areas in the front of them. Of course, they'll do it differently depending on, like, what color scheme and what style they're going for and things like that. So, like, this place has like the water fountains, and eventually you'll start seeing like I do like the colors are going to be like little pastel-y cream colors and things like that. Because what I decided to make this, I'm replacing them with things that I already have in my world. So this lot, I don't think it was in like the original base game Oasis Springs, because of course, well, I know it wasn't, because restaurants wasn't a thing in the original. But for my world, I actually had this area as a restaurant because I wanted to add a few more restaurants in the game and stuff like that. So I decided that this place was actually going to be a restaurant. So, well, that spot was going to be a restaurant. And now that I'm removing it, I'm not making it something completely different. It is staying a restaurant, but it's change of ownerships, basically, because this is going to be completely different. The other one was actually someone's that they had made off the gallery, which it was like Red something. I didn't forgot the name of it. I've had it for a while, actually. But this is actually, I decided to do something a little different, and I know like some of the options that you can have as in the menus is like some more sweets or like ice cream and stuff. So I decided to make this more of an ice cream place. It is gonna have some like sweets and stuff in it. That's why I've actually ended up like in the little screen right now, all you see is ice cream, because that was literally like just my original plan. I don't usually think of the names until after I've finished building them, because sometimes I end up changing things midway through, or I don't know what color scheme I'm really going for, or I at least have like sort of an idea for a color scheme, but then I change my mind partially through, so I don't make an official name until I completely finish the build. But I end up calling this the Sweet Tooth Creamery. So its main thing is ice cream, but it also does have some sweets. There's a few like little tiny appetizers and a lot of drink options, but the main thing is desserts. I actually have no main course for this, because I was looking at the main courses, like if any of them seem like they're more on the sweet side, which most main courses aren't, but because that, you know, some places, some restaurants and things deal with different stuff. I thought maybe there was a chance that some of them were. So I did look at the main courses, but none of them really fit the style or theme of the restaurant that I was wanting to go for. So I didn't have any main courses. So if you do download this off the gallery, there is no main courses. I'm assuming that stuff transfers over. It did when I moved it from one save to another, because I've already moved this over into my main save, actually. But this part that I'm doing right here, like, I originally started with a fence, but I decided it didn't look right. But this took forever to actually get it to be all the half walls. I don't know why I didn't just, it was because the half walls option doesn't have the option to just interlink the walls and actually go through, but then I had to change them all to half walls, so I don't really know if the process was much faster doing it that way versus just going ahead and put the half walls. But you know what? Sometimes I don't make sense in what I'm doing. Now this part took me forever trying to decide what I want to do on the outside. I did want to go with more minty, like soft pastel colors, but more on the minty side, with throwing like some pinks and some light blues and things like that in there. A little bit here and there, but I did want mint to be like the strong color going on. But it literally took me forever to really decide on an official, like, wallpaper on the outside. Honestly, I did cut some of it out just because it was literally taking me forever, because I was going back and forth at looking at some of them, and then I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do it like this, or have the light colors on the inside of these, or the dark. I could not decide. But ultimately, I did choose and finally settle on something. I did decide to keep the half walls white all the way around, including on the columns that are white themselves. I thought it looked interesting and also nice at the same time. Like, it didn't look actually weird to have the half walls matching some of the underneath walls and not matching all of them. This thing with the fountain, I didn't like the fact that the purple was sticking out so much in the fountain, but I wanted the purple to be the color to come through. So that's why I did that. So there is the white, and I downsized the purple so that you couldn't actually see the white inside there. So it's just like a purple and white mixture of things. And then here is me fixing the planters and stuff. But just to briefly go over the insides, because I'll probably let music play towards the end of this, because it's a pretty simple build for the most part, since it is a restaurant versus a house. But on the inside, it is like the underneath is all the sitting area. There is a sitting area also outside. I gave multiple different tables. Like, there's the picnic tables on the outside. So is it 4 that sit on those? I think it's 4 that can sit on those. And then there's 2 round tables on the inside that you can have up to 6 people sit in. There's also some tables that only 2 people can sit at, and some that 3, and some that 4. So, like, it has a variety of sizes of parties that you can have. Because I would imagine, since this is the type of restaurant theme I was going for, that, you know, a family would probably come here, so you would want, like, the picnic tables and the round tables. The ones that can have, like, more Sims sitting at them, because if a whole family came, they want to be sitting together. You don't want to separate them, unless, you know, you had 2 teens that decided they didn't want to sit with the rest of them. Maybe that option. But, and then the upstairs is where the bathrooms and the kitchen is. Now, of course, I think you have to incorporate the little, kitchen, like the stoves that came with Dine Out, to actually have chefs there. And I do think you have to have chefs no matter what type of food it is, whether it's ice cream, like a dessert, or anything like that. You have to have chefs there. Though most of the stuff on the menu will never be cooked, and honestly, you can probably just use a regular stove for. I had to include them so that there could be some chefs. Otherwise, I wouldn't have included them. But there is also regular stoves up there as well. I also included, like, various different types of fridges, or things that look like they're holding a bunch of different ice creams, or like the cold foods, because I think there's also a lot of the desserts have fruit mixed in them and things like that. So, you know, that's where all that stuff is stored. And then, of course, you know, the bathrooms are bathrooms in such, so nothing really super special about them. Now, in my screenshots, you are going to see some people already there, because to get screenshots of community lots, you actually have to have them placed, of course, in your world, and then you have to take your sim to that community lot, and so you can take, like, the actual detailed pictures, so you can go inside and take them. So I had to bring a sim here to actually take the pictures, and by doing that automatically makes the restaurant members already physically be there. So there was already like a host, a waiter, and a chef. So they were already in there. So they're in the screenshot. So if you see those Sims, that's why they're there. The screenshots are, of course, at the end, like they always are, and such. But I'm gonna actually stop talking now. Let me know down in the comments below how you think of my little sweet tooth creamery. It is a little bit different compared to what I'm used to. One, I've just now started getting into building a lot of community lots, but also the color scheme with all the pastel colors. I almost never do anything with pastel colors because I'm just not a huge, like, they're pretty to a certain extent, but they're not like overwhelmingly my favorite, and I don't deal with them too often when it comes to like Sims and builds in particular. So definitely would love to get your feedback on how you think everything went, and what is like your favorite parts. Would you possibly actually use this in your save file and such? If you think you would, by the way, it is going to be on the gallery once this video is live. It should be up on the gallery, and you can find it by either searching for the Sweet Tooth Sweet Tooth Creamery, or by searching my name, Artistic Gamer 7, which is my origin ID, or putting Artistic Gamer 7 in the hashtag, because I do put that on everything. I want there to be multiple ways for you to be able to find my stuff, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to find everything. So that is the ways that you can go and find this build and download it for yourself. If you do download it for yourself, I definitely would, if you ever take any screenshots inside the build, definitely like tweet them over to me so I can see them, because it would be lovely to see how like everyone's using my builds in their own little worlds and things like that. Or if you even give it like a makeover, like maybe you don't want your ice cream place to be all sweet and pastel-y, maybe you want it to be a lot different. So if you ever like use the build but like adjust it or make changes, I would like to see those too. I definitely love seeing how creative this community is and all the stuff that comes from this community. It is always so intriguing to me how creative everyone is in this lovely Simmers community. But anyway, all of my Sims 4 playlists will be down in the description below, so you can go check it out, including the Sims 4 builds. So if you feel like you've missed any builds here and there, or if you want to go check out some that you know that you didn't get to fully watch or something like that, or you seen was uploaded but you didn't get to watch it at the time, you can click that playlist to go and catch up on those and see those there. Also, all of my social media is going to be down there too, including my Twitter, so you can go and tweet those pictures to me. And I'm going to let the music play here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
You know I've been around for years. Baby, I've seen all your tears. Now I'm in your blood, now I'm in your blood. You know I'm like a childhood friend, and finally we meet again. before you know, we'll be in the flow. You know I've been